Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our talks with Walt as we are calling our readings to the deathbed edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We turn now to the little poem, Life and Death. Of course, earlier we had the poem Life. Now we've got Life and Death. This is poem number 40 of the 58 of Sands at 70. So you can see that we're starting to move towards the end of that cluster. And this is a little poem that does quite well for us with all five of what we have called the big five in earlier lectures. Now, our assumption, speaking of, is that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Talks with Walt, our playlist, and that you've been with us in this introductory kinds of lectures, especially Sands at 70, and of course, we just finished with Thanks to Old Age. Now, as we turn to our Nortons here for this one, we're told that it was first published in the New York Herald, again, a publication that's published a number of our poems here in this cluster, May the 23rd, 1888. Now, again, Life and Death, think about starting from Palmanock 12, when it was reported, nothing can happen more beautiful than death. I mean, just think about that line and the significance of that line. You'll remember that the phrase life and death is used in As I Pondered in Silence right at the beginning of Leaves of Grass. You could make the argument, of course, that all of Leaves of Grass has been an attempt to try to explain how we understand or know anything, epistemology, about life and death. The fact that ontologically, now I'm just listing our big five, aren't I? That ontologically, we are defined by life and death. And of course, psychologically and sociologically, well, that's the tension that will be at play. And obviously, think about the power of the theodicy question, the last of our big five. Why must there be death? Why must there be a cessation of life? And to what degree is there actually a cessation of life with death? And in these four lines, amazingly, Whitman will play around with all of these ideas, life and death. The two old simple problems. I love that he calls it simple, which is ironic, right? You can write that down already in 2B. Whitman loves his irony, and this is one of those. The two old simple problems ever intertwined. The only other use of intertwined is in O Mio Life, you'll remember it. Close, home, elusive, present, baffled, grappled. I love the rhyming of baffled, grappled. Again, intertwining, grappling. I told you guys, hugging, reaching out, holding, all of that significant in Leaves of Grass. By each successive age, insoluble. One time only in all Leaves of Grass is that word used, and it's right here. Insoluble, passed on to hours, today, and we pass on the same. Well, what is he exactly saying in a little poem like this? Well, I think he's saying that the oldest problems, the simplest problems, are the most important problems. Obviously, the question of what does it mean to be alive? And then what does it mean to die? Life and death somehow being the capstones of all of our existence. And that is to say, the oldest problems are the newest problems, which is again why we say the new is the new. The NEW is the KNEW. At 2B, I love that rhyming of baffled and grappled. I love his word choice. I love the irony of calling it a simple problem, right? At 3A, again, starting from Palmanock, just go back and read that poem again in its entirety. Nothing can happen more beautiful than death is a compelling line, right? At 3B, how about this? How do you deal with this quote-unquote simple problem of life and death? And to what degree is your study of Leaves of Grass helping you to come to terms with that simple problem? I hope that your study is doing that for you. Thank you.